We are on a family adventure day. Where are we going?
Costco.
Costco. We can't, there's a Costco in Spain, but we have never been, mainly because your fridge is too small, you can't really buy in bulk, and also we're in an Uber right now because the closest Costco is really inconvenient to get there from train or public transportation. So we just decided though we got to check it out while we're here, and we're gonna take you along. This video is sponsored by Element. It is summer, it is blazing hot. We have no air conditioning here in Madrid until a technician get out and fix it. So we are loading up on electrolytes. These little convenient packets contain 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And it's something that is clean, there's no junk, there's no fillers, and everybody in my family has some every day. Element is a sodium-based electrolyte mix that is a delicious way to keep you hydrated as you are active and sweating and out enjoying your summer. If you want to get a free sample pack with your drink mix purchase, you can go to drinkelement.com/LauraESPATH and you can try all of their flavors. They have a 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Thanks to Element for sponsoring this video. We have been a lot of cool places in our 3 months in Spain. We just got back from Rome, we went to Portugal, we've traveled all around Spain, but you know, we couldn't leave without checking out the Costco. How helpful would have this have been? We bought an air fryer when we were here, just from Amazon, but this little like indoor grill thing with grill grates, that would have been really nice to have this whole trip. I started to go look through the clothes section, but Chris said I wasn't allowed to get any clothes because we don't have any room to take anything else back in our suitcases. I don't know why I'm so surprised. I guess I just wasn't expecting this to look so similar to the Costco in the US, especially with the patio furniture and the giant inflatables and the playhouses and then all of these different grills. But obviously people who shop here are not living in downtown Madrid like we are. There are people that are living more in the suburbs, which makes a lot of sense, but this would have been amazing to have during our time here in Spain. We had talked about getting a smaller charcoal grill like this and putting it out on our patio. We have an outdoor terrace in our apartment. It would have been really nice to have. However, it's just a lot of mess with charcoal, and I'm assuming actually the company may not have liked to have like fire out there. So we may do with an air fryer, but this would have been really cool. The first thing I noticed when going to the meat department is the seafood area is just so much bigger here. Obviously around the holidays you could find crab legs or something in the US Costco, but there was just a tremendous amount of really fresh seafood. Somebody here was buying this giant whole fish, and there was so many options of different kinds of shrimp, fish, mussels, clams. You can find this in the regular grocery stores here in Spain also, but I think the prices here were a lot cheaper at Costco for some of these whole fish. And the kids were very relieved to see that they still had samples here.
Sí, it's okay.
This is one of those open meat coolers backed by the rotisserie chickens, and this is, again, all seafood, all different kinds of fresh fish and salmon. They had squid and octopus. They had these beautiful looking tunas. Show me.
Octopus.
You want some?
No, you can have it.
I'm a big fan of octopus, but the kids not so much. These oysters were massive, and then they had so many different kinds of shrimp, and the head on, tail on, everything shrimp is super popular here. There was about 20 people in line waiting for rotisserie chicken, so clearly they're just as popular here in Spain as they are in the US, and the prices were still the same, €5. Lots of really amazing ground beef options. And again, the prices were really similar. This is all price per kilogram and in euros. So this size of ground beef was really similar to the price that I would pay in the US Costco. One thing I was really surprised to see here was a lot of USDA choice labeled meat. This is a Lomo Americano, which is like a big giant New York strip loin. And this is price per kilogram, so very similar to what you would pay in the US for a whole strip loin at Costco. And the marbling is much higher. You will not see this type of marbling in most Spanish grocery stores on their typical beef, unless you're getting something like Wagyu, which then you're gonna be paying this higher price for. This pack of ribeyes, the size of them is a little bit smaller than what you would find in the US, but look at that marbling. This is USDA choice and it has incredible marbling and fat content. And then when you look at the price, this is per kilogram. This is a little bit higher. I think you're paying a premium because this is all USDA choice labeled beef with a much higher fat content. So that's actually pretty expensive for Spain beef prices. And then they had these incredible tomahawk steaks. Look at that. The marbling on this, ugh. I feel like I couldn't do this justice though without my grill. So we're gonna pass on this for today only because I would have a difficult time cooking that in our apartment. This is a top sirloin that's then cut into steaks. This is much more typical of the fat content and the price of the beef that you're gonna find here in Spain. This is like an eye of round roast up here. This cut I wasn't too familiar with. Cadera means like a rump, and then anojo is like a young cow. So it looks like, because of the fibers in the meat, it looks like the top sirloin without the cap on it. And it was pretty trimmed, but I mean, it looked like it could be pretty tender. And then they had some others that were cut into really thin steaks. So that would have been fun to try, but not really something that we could have used right now, but it looked good. And then this was the same thing, but just cut into medallions. Those actually looked really tender. A lot of these cuts though say anojo on them, which means young cow. So these chuck roasts look really great. It's a good price and they have good fat on them. They're just a lot smaller than the chuck roast that you would find in the US, and that's just because they come from a younger cow, which probably makes them more tender. What's that?
Picanha.
Oh, that's a whole one. Ooh, and it has the fat on it. There's a couple of places in the US where you can get this, but not anywhere near us at Costco. I think only in like Florida or something.
$14.99 a kilogram, so it's about $7 a pound.
Which that's a lot cheaper than what we can find in our grocery stores, right?
Yeah.
And since they're vacuum sealed, they would last a long time in the fridge without having to be frozen. They had some awesome looking skin on pork belly, which pork belly is hard enough to find in the US, but it's almost impossible to find skin on pork belly. And that's what they make the torreznos with here, this like super crispy pork belly that they have in a lot of restaurants and in the grocery stores. Ugh, I wish we could get this in the US at Costco. Ooh, look at that. Those are so good. Wow.
Iberico.
Dad.
This was a really good deal for just the basic giant pork loin. We get a lot of these in the US, just make pork chops out of them, pork jerky, but this was a really good price for it here.
Now that's what it's all about right there.
This is Iberico Secreto, so pork, but it's the Iberico pigs. And look at all that fat. Oh my gosh. And these are vacuum sealed too, so we could throw those in the fridge or the freezer and they would last a long time. But it's obviously more expensive because it's such a high quality, but that's still cheaper than our grocery. This is $25 for this package, euros. But that's cheaper than our grocery stores near us.
We have tenderloin. Looks pretty much like beef.
Yeah, this is pork, but it's so red. It's like beef almost.
Look at this one over here too.
Whoa, what is that?
I'm not sure what cut that is.
It looks like a skirt steak or something, but it's obviously pork.
But it's so red like beef.
Yeah. Not as many different chicken options as what we see in the US, but here they had a couple of different versions of a whole chicken. So this was 2 whole chickens for around 10 euros. And then there's a lot of this yellow chicken here, and I'm not sure what that means. I'm assuming it's some type of like organic or free range. A lot of it's labeled, this one was labeled vegetarian, which is not really that normal for chickens. But they all have this yellow fat on them. And then it's more expensive, so I'm assuming it's some type of like better organic vegetarian chicken. Versus this has like a 4-pack of the chicken breasts, and then they had chicken wings. Chicken wings are not that popular here in Spain, so this would have been really cool. We actually should have grabbed one of these to throw in the air fryer. And the total price for this 4-pack was only 10 euros. But again, we're talking sizes. These are much smaller packages than what you would find in the US. So this is a 4-pack of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And then we have some packs of chicken legs with the skin on. This is entraña, which is a skirt steak, and then they had some over there as well, but they were more expensive because it was the USDA choice. This one is has a marinade on it that's chimichurri, which I have been obsessed with chimichurri since being here in Spain. And then I just watched the carb content. So this is 0.3 grams of carbs per 100. I'm not worried about minimal carbs like that. And then both of these skirt steaks together is 19 euros. So that's equals out to like $5 a pound. That's a really good deal for a skirt steak. Different types of chorizo, and this actually had blood sausage in with it as well, are all very popular here. And then of course, you can't go anywhere in Spain without seeing tons of this Iberico. This was actually a pretty decent price. They can get very expensive depending on how they're cured and just how fancy they are, but there's really cheap jamón, or you can find some like really fancy expensive ones. This is another major difference with the Costco here in Spain versus the US, is this aisles and aisles of different types of jamón and chorizos, and actually just a lot more variety of cheeses as well. Different types of really hard cheese are very popular here. Manchego is one you can get at most restaurants with your jamón, and manchego is a really popular appetizer. But you actually can't find some really sharp cheese here. So I saw this white cheddar cheese, which looks really sharp, but finding some like really sharp yellow cheddar cheese has been very difficult. We've been eating a lot of Edam cheese, which I haven't ever had in the US before, and they have a lot of slices of provolone and some mild cheddar. And then this Costco doesn't have those big giant bags of shredded cheese, but I was able to find these small ones. The kids are eating these on their eggs for breakfast in the mornings. The country of Spain is actually the largest producer of olive oil, and so in true Costco fashion, you could buy yourself a full-on olive tree for only 300 euros, which is like $325. I would have loved to have stocked up on toilet paper and paper towels, but we couldn't have fit it in the car home, and we have nowhere in our little apartment to store it. I was looking for eggs in like the dairy room, and then I remembered that they don't refrigerate their eggs here, and they don't refrigerate their milk, so there was no need for an extra dairy room. Traditional American bacon, like cured and sliced thin, is pretty hard to find. This is one of the first places I've seen something that resembles American bacon. This is Torreznos, which is the skin-on cured pork belly that gets super crispy. That's a lot more common to find. They have the same bags of shrimp here that I get back in the US, and the price is actually the same. This was 20 euros, which is about $23.
Check these out.
Look at that.
Torreznos pork rinds, chicharrones.
Those are good and crunchy.
Good ones.
Ooh, look at that. How much is that? That is 10 euros. These are giant, and these are more like the fluffy ones. This is only 7 euros. Look at that. Those look really good. This is lacone, which is like a thick cut ham, and you could eat it cold, like on a charcuterie board or something, but then also in tapas restaurants, they'll serve this like warm. It's so good. It's Saturday afternoon, but this was the line to pay, it was all the way back to the toilet paper. ¿Está la línea tu pegar?
Correcto.
Okay, gracias. Okay, here we go. We got some skirt steak. We got some churrascos, Iberico Secreto,
Picanha.
a couple picanhas, and some shredded cheese. I think that's about all we can handle on this trip. Total price for our little haul was 125 euros, which is about $136. If we had a vehicle or if this was someplace we could get to easily with public transportation, we definitely would have been here a lot more during our 3 months in Spain, but it was really fun to check out once. Thanks for watching.